Hey everyone, a lot has dropped on us out of nowhere and it shows a lot of changes and I wanted to talk about them. First off, we can start off with the pity system that they added to the Premier Relics. So you can choose between any 5 diamonds up until the current released diamonds. Same goes for the gold fighters as well. These are the lists that are currently available to gamble for. Even going as far as some of the OG ones. And then for golds, this at least gives you a chance to be able to reduce the amount of junk golds that you might get that you just really didn't want. After 100, you are guaranteed that diamond out of the 5 that you have chosen. I believe this goes with with the jackpot relics, but I'm not 100% sure, as I don't have a jackpot relic to test that. Also, the shard exchange used to be 5,000 for each. Now they've reduced the price to 4,000. It's one less diamond, I guess, but not a huge change, but it might be just enough for some people. Alright, now we have the backstage pass. Let's take a look at that for a moment. This is where we ask ourselves if it's worth it again. So as we can see, there's the standard pass that we all know. It goes up to level 50. But there's also a premium of this pass, which will go around to 20 USD. And as you can see, after 50, it's going to be pure relics. A chance to get 25 relics from the pass once you've already hit the last milestone. They've also reduced the price for skipping the goals. Not the goals, but the pass from, I think, 500 to 200. I don't think anyone is going to be spending their Theo on this. But hey, if you've had some bad luck, why not add a little bit more and try to get as many relics as you can. I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to be all based off of perspective if people really think it's worth it. Now, some of the big changes that we ran into. We're gonna take a look at Beowulf. He got a lot of quality of life things, from skills to even mark abilities. We'll go with our good old Beast King here. Nothing's changed about him, you know, chair, same thing, wolf shoot, same thing. We're gonna see some moves that have been changed, however. So, this will go up to 50% when used in hype mode. So before was a max of 25% damage at level 15, but at level 15 it now boasts a whopping 50%. A move that I've rarely used is the Gigan Arm Sweep. It used to just apply bleed and nothing else. But as we can see here, it also gains Blockbuster meter and increases the chance for it to do more damage in hype mode. Can always appreciate the extra damage. Next we have one of our unblockables. So, this at level 15 has a 100% chance to remove a buff each time it hits. Now instead, opponents defeated with this will actually cannot be revived. So stuff like Robo Fortune's unblockable, Umbrella's unblockable, Biting Cold. Now Beowulf has a way to also do this. Now we go to Airwolf, and now inflicts armor break and heal block with a higher chance of applying such debuffs at 100% at level 15. We have Gigantic Arm. Instead of just applying stun, it now has an increased chance for critical hits in hype mode. One of my favorite ones that were changed was the Pummel. It goes up to a 25% chance when at 15 to inflict guard break and curse instead of cripple and slow. So we also, last but not least, we have the Moonsault. So this is a way for him to be able to knock out. Wait a minute, I've already gone over this. Wolfomania. Sorry about that. So normally when using this blockbuster, you would gain haste after defeating an opponent with it. Well, instead, you can gain percentage of your health back up to 100% if it was done in hype mode. Otherwise, you'll gain 50% if not used in hype mode. So, what else has changed with Beowulf, you may ask? Well, its marquee has changed actually. So we're going to take a look at that. So now, Defendant Champ, it's not too much of a huge difference, but deals 20% damage when his health is higher, something you would normally go with. But Challenger has changed. At level 11, Beowulf will gain 2% health per second while his health is lower than his opponent's. So Beowulf is splitting image without the immunity. So one variant in particular I wanted to talk about before the rest was Wrestler X. So he used to apply bleed in hype mode, not really, and gain stacks of regen when he reached certain percentages. However, this Beowulf starts with 3 stacks of permanent regen. And if you give him Challenger, now he will sit there to gain 5 stacks of regen if his HP is lower than his opponent's. Inverse polarity, of course, will break that, but without inverse polarity, higher streaks could prove to be an issue for some people. Beowulf having the capability to heal like this definitely does change the game plan. I believe number 1 also got a change. So he gains Deadeye and Haste when activating Hype Mode this time, and he has a higher chance to gain Enrage while hitting his opponent and benefiting from Haste. So some overall slight quality of life for him. We also have Underdog, which now he gains armor and haste when he suffers a debuff, and when he gains gains any buff, he gains 10% blockbuster meter. I think it was a nice touch up for this Beowulf, especially for bronze. It's pretty nice. I can appreciate it. Now, Freedom Fighter now has higher probability of gaining auto block. Whether you're blocking or he's blocking, he can gain auto block through all of that. His mechanics are still the same for stunning his opponent and locking specials, but now he gains auto block more consistently, which might bother a few people. So, now we can talk about some of the variants that also undergone some changes. For starters, we have Untouchable. So now, instead of only gaining invincibility and having a chance to completely nullify damage, Untouchable now gains invincibility for 2 seconds and also has essentially a little bit of life leech while benefiting from either one of those buffs. So Untouchable could potentially be used as an offensive peacock if you so desire. Could be a pain for some without curse, but I think it's a good quality of life for that one. Next is a variant a lot of people were disappointed with before. I haven't gotten around to them, but now their charge attack, when benefiting from the Enrage stacks, can now inflict stun, hex, and curse per stack, which I think is pretty nice. They took away the bleed, but I think this is a good trade-off considering hex and curse are in the pool of debuffs. And she can gain Enrage a lot easier, so she's become more usable. We'll actually have to try her out sometime. Next one we're going to talk about is going to be Diva. Another one I haven't worked on. I've heard that she's good, but I've been distracted with many other fighters that I've wanted to upgrade. So now, let's see. I actually don't know the changes for her. You'll have to look on the patch notes for that one, because I'm not a huge Eliza fan of knowledge. Let's see. Oh, on another note, Freedom Fighter's stats now match with Wolfsbane's stats as a gold. So it might be good, might be bad. I didn't know the stats to begin with for Freedom Fighter. And then we have Eager Deceiver. So she got a buff, but also I question the first signature ability. So well-timed blocks now give evasion, barrier, and blessing. The point that I don't understand is why does she gain evasion if she loses it from doing a perfect block? I didn't really understand why they put evasion there. Maybe one of you could clarify that for me and what you think, because I have no earthly idea. But we move on to the second part of her signature ability. Now, she can actually gain permanent precision while she's benefiting from 5 stacks of enrage. So if you were any reason putting crit rate on this umbrella, you no longer have to once you hit 5 stacks of enrage, because then she becomes essentially windswept as an umbrella. Yeah, so those were a lot of the changes that happened. I'd like to thank you guys for actually taking some time out of your day to listen to some guy ramble about information on an update that people probably don't quite know about yet. But in that case, hope you guys have a great day and take care. Bye bye.